Hola mis amores, welcome to today's episode of Tea Time with Nori. I want to share with you some gems that I learned this year. As you may or may not know, I am an avid reader. I love to read. And for 2019, I set a goal of reading, I think it was 50 books. I am not sure whether I hit that goal or not. I'm actually pretty sure I didn't. I'll have to look at my actual list of books that I read to give you a concrete answer on that. But I did want to share with you the 12 books that changed my life in 2019. And I actually have every single one of those books here for you right now. And I'm going to go over every single one with you. And I also got a bonus book I'm going to share. Okay, so reading, if you're currently in the space of personal development or business or whatever, and you feel like you cannot afford to work with a coach, or you're not ready to work with a coach or anything like that, reading is a place that can teach you a lot. I've learned so much from reading, from investing my time into these books and utilizing the things that I learn in these books in my day to day to really expand my work, but also expand my inner work. You do the inner work to do the outer work. So I wanted to share with you the books that really changed my life this year. Some of these are rereads, some of these are new reads, but these all had an impact on me in 2019, and I want to share them with you today. So the first book I'm sharing is The Five Levels of Attachment by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. This is from the son of the man that wrote the Four Agreements. And this is a great book to understand how you get attached to things. A lot of us struggle with attachment of things, and attachment leads to suffering. So this is a great book to help you understand how attached you are to certain things so that you can remove some of that attachment and look at the world with a little bit less intensity. The next book is The Four Agreements. This is a classic. This book, I read it like every once a month, if not, yeah, like at least once a month I try to read this book because it's a reminder that everything is not what it seems, and that if you make these agreements with yourself, your life is going to be much more simpler, much more happier. And I personally highly recommend this book to anybody that is looking to start their self-help journey because it can teach you a lot. So the Four Agreements is a must read. Another book I read is by Maxie McCoy called Youre Not Lost. Now, this book is for someone that needs clarity on things, or you just try to figure out some things on your own. You may already have the accountability, you may already have the support in your tribe, but you just need to get some information in. And I like the Maxie style in this book is she actually has these kind of questions at the end of the book. See, I answer them, but like these questions at the end of the book to kind of help you work through some of these things. So I really recommend Maxie's book. It's really great. Like I enjoy reading this book a lot, and I've referenced this book whenever I'm even working with students. Like if I want to think about different approach to work with them, I'll take a look at it and they'll give me feedback on how I can do my work better. All right, next is Deep Work by Cal Newport. So if you are someone that struggles with being consistent, that struggles with focus, that struggles with distractions, Deep Work is a great book for you. This author does a really great job at giving you strategies to practice more deep work, as creating more structure in your day. I really enjoyed this book a lot because that's something that I always can use help with. Next is one of my all-time favorites, The Power of Now, as you can tell by all of my stickies I got on there. So The Power of Now is by Eckhart Tolle, and this book is a reminder that the only thing that matters is this present moment. Everything else is fleeting, everything else is necessary, and I really enjoy reading this book. I actually read it like I'm reading it right now again with my book club. So I think this year alone I read it like 3 times because it's that good and that impactful. And I also think this book, you got to read it a couple of times to get some of the stuff that Eckhart be talking about, because if you're not ready, it's going to go completely over your head. Then this is a book that I read recently by the author of Who Moved My Cheese, The Present. And this book is an awesome book. I actually picked this book up from a used bookstore, which is what JP and I've started doing these days. And I really enjoyed this book because he reframes the idea of the present, and he reframes the idea of your purpose. And I really enjoy how Spencer talks about the present moment, your purpose being whatever you're supposed to be doing right now. So if right now you are at your job, then that's your purpose. And if that's your purpose, you should give it all you got. You should treat it like, do your best with it. So I really enjoyed this particular book, and it really helped me a lot this year because there were moments that I felt really disconnected, and this particular book helped me understand a lot of things around what it means to be fully present, and also how to move with your purpose. A lot of us think our purpose is going to show up in somewhere in the sky, but our purpose is a lot closer than we realize. So this is a really good one. All right, next I have Essentialism by Greg McKeown. I think that's his name. And I love this book because I am the queen of ideas. This is literally what my brain looks like 90% of the time. So really being able to utilize a book that helped me narrow down my ideas, narrow down the things to focus on was important. I got this book from one of my mentors, Sam Ovens, and he highly recommended this book. And I also think he recommended Deep Work too. And it helped me a lot because a lot of us are just scattered with our focus. And I'm one of those people that get scattered with focus. And this book helped me kind of reel it back in and stay more in the present and in the now by not putting so many things on my list, not trying to do everything at once, which is what I was trying to do many times in this year. Next, I have Extreme Focus by Pat Williams and Jim Denny. A lot of books on focus because 2019 was about learning how to focus. And this book, I got it from the used bookstore too. Highly recommend this book for anyone that's looking to read the stories of people from all walks of life, not just athletes and business people, but like people that like preachers, all sorts of people that are practicing focus on their daily lives. And this book can really help you see that. A lot of times we think that only certain people can practice focus and only certain people can do certain things. But when you read the stories of everyday people that are doing this, you get motivated to want to do it too, because you see that you are not alone and that some of these people, their starting point is a lot lower than your starting point. And they have made it, which can motivate you. And it motivated me to realize that I can make it too. So that was pretty awesome. All-time favorite in my house, The Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. Y'all probably saw me talking about this book already. JP and I read this book also this year, I believe. I definitely read it with my book club. Great book to help understand why you act and why you do not act. Highly recommend this book to anybody and everybody and their mama. This book helped improve our marriage by 1,000%, as JP will say. Next, this book is a recent read. The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. Really love this book. Learning about the things that the dying regret on their last days was really empowering for me, because sometimes we get lost in what we think is important. And when we read these stories about people that are on their deathbed, we get reminded about what's really important, and it's not what we think it is. Next, Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote for Chaos. Love this book. Jordan has such a unique way of talking to us about being personally responsible and practicing that. And the rules in this book are things that I do my best to try to live by because there are very powerful rules and they're really impactful. I will say it's a lengthy read, as you can say, but it's a really worth it read. I actually got this in audiobook too because I enjoy listening to it more than actually reading it, but it's a really great book. It made it to my list of books for this year. Loved it. Next, Steve Jobs. This book, I could not put this book down, y'all. Like, I was reading this book and I must have finished it in less than a week because I was so obsessed with it. Learning about Steve Jobs' ethic, learning about Steve Jobs' way of thinking. I never thought I could connect with someone as much as I did with him. So I completely recommend this book to understand how his brain works and how you can develop something like Apple. Like, that was major. It's a major company and he did all of that work. He had people around him, but he was at the heart of it, and his attention to detail. Whoo, real deal. Okay, last book, bonus book, The Enneagram. This book is for anyone that wants to learn more about themselves. I highly recommend this book, learning about some of their patterns, learning about how they impact you and how they can help you be better. So these are my books for 2019. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll talk to you soon. Hasta luego.